A stolen opportunity. That's what we're going to talk about.
Really now?
Yeah.
Interesting. Sounds cool though.
Sounds cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to us it sounds cool, but to God it's...
And what do you mean
no
by
way.
that? What do you mean about stolen opportunity?
A stolen opportunity. Well, I know like when we walk with Christ,
right,
and we're, you know, a new creature, you know, we know what good is in the aspect of like, since God has been guiding us.
right.
So, you know, let's be real here. Like as men and women, like we want to find a significant other.
Interesting.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't, you know?
Of course, yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing. And God even says it's good.
Yeah, that he is pleased
Yeah.
when a man finds a wife.
Correct.
Yeah, it's in Proverbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a really nice thing. Like, I know my time will come, but I'm just focused on God.
You're being very sappy about it.
Whoa, what you mean sappy? Like sensitive?
Yeah.
All right, chill, bro. I didn't mean it like that, bro. But
God saw that Adam was alone, I guess, and he created Eve.
Right?
And he saw that it was good.
It was good. He didn't even ask for it, right?
No.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. But what I'm trying to say is like when someone is looking for God, their heart is not firmed, like established, like sealed with God. And then someone
explain that. What do you mean by that? I mean, I know
what
you mean, but for the one listening,
let's just say like I just got, you know, I knew in God. God is building me.
Correct.
You know, and then here comes this beautiful lady,
right?
And you know, she is actually like firm with God, but somehow like she discerns wrongly, or she maybe discerns correctly, but like ignores the fact that I'm still like learning and God's still building me. I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
And then takes me. That is stealing an opportunity.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
So what you're saying is, you bump like into someone who's Christian, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. We're talking about followers here.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
And you feel like an attraction towards her.
Correct.
Spiritually or not spiritually? I
guess you can say, no, you know, like, so let's just say spiritually.
Okay, and vice versa. She does too, right?
Yeah.
But you guys, like, miss on the signals.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes, like, you know how like scripture says, discern all things, right? Like, test all spirits.
So what you're saying is she could have been if you would have paid attention to the signals. Is that what you mean?
No. What I'm saying is this. Like, she probably sees how, you know, devoted you are to God. Right? And then you see how devoted she is to God, right?
Right.
But you are still being built.
Right.
Like
so
she's still being built, but she's like more firm than
she's already in a much more firm foundation than you are.
Exactly.
Okay.
So and she comes, right, and steals me away.
Oh, she doesn't steal you. Well, I guess you could say.
Because you know why? Then, you know, God does everything in order, right?
Right.
Here comes this girl, takes me away from God.
What do you mean by takes you away from God?
What I mean by that is
because she's serving God too, is she not?
No, she is. I agree. But what I'm saying is like there is like that, like you basically you're not on that super, like you're not on that firm foundation yet.
All right, so she basically, what you're essentially saying, I could either be her or vice versa you, right?
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Because she goes like, or he goes like, that could be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Or
maybe it is. It
is the one.
It is the one.
It is the one,
yeah.
right? But she needs to consider the she needs to consider a level of respect that's happening between you and God in regards to the building.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So perhaps it is the one.
Yeah.
Or can be the one. It is the one, right? But if either or interrupts that, it's a stolen opportunity.
Exactly. To get closer with God.
I see what you mean. That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see that as a stolen opportunity. Or let's say someone from the world sees this beautiful girl,
right?
Like searching for God,
right,
and like she can see that she has like this hunger and thirst for God, but she's still being built. We're always being built, even when we're in that firm foundation. We're still being built, but you can they're not on that firm foundation where like they're ready to be in a relationship.
Right, that's right.
And here comes a secular person and takes her away.
Yeah, potentially is a setup for failure.
Exactly, and it's a stolen opportunity.
Well, okay, yeah,
it's stolen opportunity for that lady because it's also her fault too for not discerning well.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that like when you're in the search for God,
right,
being built, setting yourself on that firm foundation, bro, there should be nothing that should take you away from God. No way.
No, you're right.
Even as me as a brother in Christ, right? I shouldn't be selfish enough if I know that like girl or woman is serving God, right? And she's still like being built and she's not ready, but I want to take up on actions on my own hands. And she's not on that firm foundation, and I go in and I still take her.
You interrupt.
I interrupt, and that's being selfish
without consulting God.
Exactly.
Through
prayer,
right?
Fasting, whatever it may be. And to me, that's selfish, and that's a stolen opportunity. Basically, like almost like a thief.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's almost you're disrespecting the relationship that person's having with God.
Correct.
You're not consulting God. Number 2, right? And 3, you're taking things upon your own way, upon your own like selfish needs.
Exactly.
When it probably is from God, and now you just interrupted that, and now you have to suffer the consequences, not because you have taken upon your own will, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually devastating.
No, it is devastating, and it sucks because I know that there are some out there that are probably in that situation or are heading towards that situation.
Right.
And it sucks because, God can't be mocked. There will be consequences.
No, yeah.
I
think it's the, and I'm going to say vice versa, right? Because for a man or a woman, the idea of feeling alone is like scary, apparently.
Oh, all right. I'll admit something here. I'll admit. When I first came to God, I was actually like thinking about, who doesn't? Like, I know a lot of guys that first come to Christ are like, oh, I want this beautiful woman like this. and because we know that God is the answer. God is life. So when you see a woman searching for God, you're just like, oh, she's beautiful. Like she's beautiful inside and out.
Right.
So like, that was me at first. And I was kind of like, oh man, I don't want to be alone, bro. But you know what? Actually, because I've been alone now for 2 years now or more, I think, I've actually grown so much with God that like I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I realized that.
You wouldn't trade who?
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right,
like
right.
all those times I was alone with God.
Right.
And the closer I get to God, the more alone I get.
Yeah, you almost like you see you being alone, you see it sacred.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's almost like it's you and God. But however, yes, it is you and God, but that time with God is because he is building you, not for you to just receive all the wisdom for yourself, but also if a brother or sister comes along, you also share what God has shown you.
Yeah.
So you don't be like a thief as well.
Exactly. But also in a way, vice versa, right? As a man, he's building you to be responsible as a man.
I totally agree.
Character.
Yeah.
Right? Emotionally, spiritually, and even financially, which is secondary, right?
Yeah.
He's preparing you, all that, right? So that's why I mentioned that, because the idea of feeling alone kind of makes you calculate improperly.
Yeah, because it's almost like you start panic. Like some people start panicking, and panicking will lead to destruction because that's what the devil wants. But when you're in peace and present moment, dude, there's only wins. I promise you, with God.
Yeah, there's
only wins.
Essentially the victories is just, you see them all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and we can only see what's only in front of us, man. So being single for these 2 years, actually, like in the beginning, I didn't like it, but now I understand why. God, I'll be honest, dude. It's because I just didn't like it.
But it's society that's made you feel that way.
Exactly.
Society, or I don't know, society, like it's like you need to get married. It's let's make it happen or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. In the secular world, they like men and women live together, even without getting married. They're dating, living together.
Yeah.
To us, that means like they're living in fornication, right, or whatever. But they don't care, because to them, the side effects of the consequences of sin is they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. No.
But for someone who follows God, right, like that is not improper. That's improper. I'm sorry, that's improper before God, right?
Yeah, you almost like when you see that, like when they're not married and they're doing all that, it's almost like, what's the point of getting married then?
Well, yeah, because they've discovered everything now.
Exactly.
So what mystery remains after?
Exactly.
Right?
I don't see the point of marriage after that. Yeah.
Right. And I would assume that once you get married, every day it's a incremental discovery between your wife, right? I'm like just using logic. An incremental of discovery happens between you and the wife, right? And if that's the case, just like you do that with you and your wife, so should the discovery between you and God should be every day. Why should you just be like, well, I read the whole Bible, I'm good, I already know everything, we're good. Like it's all good.
Yeah.
But that's not right though, because if you're saying you're loving your wife incrementally every day, you're discovering these new grounds every day. Shouldn't it be that way with God as well, with your love? Should it reach its plateau and be like, well, yeah, I know everything now about the Bible. Like we get it. Like this is what he came to do for and everything. But it shouldn't be that way. What I'm trying to say about that is that once you know that's the one, and there's a mutual respect of the relationship that either men or women have between God, and they bring it to God, and they then find out that it's inevitable and that they're meant to be, should they really date for that long? If they already know, like indefinitely they're meant. They prayed, God answered, they're for each other. I say, yeah, get to know each other for a moment, and then
I totally agree.
Put a ring on it.
Yeah, because if God is the answer to everything, right, and He answers you, why not? I totally agree with you. I would just get married.
Back in ancient times. I mean, I'm not trying to say let's go back to ancient times, but at least how like in the Jewish culture, the guy just went and then.
Oh yeah, it was just in one shot, right?
Yeah, and then he would go prepare whatever he had to prepare, and then the wedding, and then boom, and
kids, and
then in the marriage they were discovering all these grounds, right? And now you date for 2-3 years,
dude.
And on top of that, you're like falling into temptation. On top of that, with flaming passion,
dude. I've heard people date for like 8 years or 10 years, and I'm like, whoa,
that's ridiculous.
That's.
Oh yeah, we're still dating. I don't think it should be that way within like the body of Christ. Like if you know she's the one, but this is we're referring to two mature people.
Yeah, on the firm foundation.
Yes,
yeah.
Firm foundation, and they have that mutual respect that the relations that they both have with God, but they bring it to God, and God, provides a clear answer.
Yeah.
Then okay. But like you said, which was interesting that you started with that. If there is no respect of that person you are attracted to, or vice versa, then you run the risk of interrupting a relationship that has been started. You're disrespecting it, and you're being selfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask why you thought of that? Like, why did it come up?
No, because I've seen it with my eyes. And okay, so last episode we talked about thieves, right? Thieves of talent.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, people stealing from God, from, you know, with the God gives you talents and you just steal it from him, right?
By not doing anything with it.
By not doing anything with it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
in any form.
yeah,
Right, you know,
in any form. And someone looking for God sees it as something precious.
Yeah.
To him, you know, he's like, oh, it's mine, you know, because
course.
you know what I mean. So someone comes over here and then steals that person away. Not that, you know, like God loses, God always wins, but like what I'm trying to say is that like the amount of opportunities that person would have obtained if that person would have just stayed with God,
it's not lost, is what you're saying.
Is now lost,
or now it'll be much more difficult.
Much more difficult.
Right? Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
I think. Well, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't really been in a like serious, like a seriously relationship. It would just come and go kind of thing.
No, dude.
But as that would happen, I would learn something from it.
Yeah,
obviously. But I think the idea of, like I had mentioned, of feeling alone, it's almost like, and when everybody talks about it more, and you know what too, social media like really distorts your reality, because you see couples doing engagement parties, or not just engagement party, but like they just post about each other. They're with a pretty wife or pretty woman, or vice versa, handsome dude or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, they feel like they're behind or something like that.
And on top of that, like they put it in the scenery of like a church. Have you seen those?
I've not seen that either.
I've seen those so many times pop up on my social media, and I'm like, dude, so many Christian guys are like, oh, this is it. This is like, no, bro, your walk with God that's your intimate relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I know what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and another thing, and I say that, like, singleness is not a bad thing, dude.
Dude, it's not. And I remember you telling me about that.
And
I was like, nah, bro, what? Nah, no way. And then now I'm just like, I see what you mean now.
I get everybody wants to be a dad.
Yeah, who doesn't, you know?
They want to be a husband. But if you want to consider to be a husband and a dad, I think you also should consider, can you maintain yourself as well?
Exactly.
If you can't even maintain yourself or administrate or stewardship properly, or even have the notion or the capacity to do so, why aspire for something that's out of your reach? And simply perhaps in a race or something. But this is like a general thing, you know. It's not a bad thing being single. But the problem is that they think that the solution of being in finding a partner is like to stop like the lustful acts.
Yeah, the lustful
acts.
It's
not going to solve anything.
No.
If anything, you're bringing all that baggage to the partner now.
And not only that, even Paul talks about that within marriage, you will find yourselves with battles.
Yeah, because essentially you now have to please each other.
Yeah.
Because of that. Right? I mean, he says, if you guys ever enter in a moment of fasting, then you guys have to have an agreement between each other that during that moment of being in the presence of God, like physical activity. Because that physical activity, whether you like it or not, it distorts your mind. Because there's hormones involved, right? There's like ingredients of lust, because it has to happen in order for you to feel that innate reaction to want to, that impulse to want to enter into intimacy, right? It's in there. It's an innate thing. So that's why Paul talks about, like, if you're going to fast, like, try to have an agreement in, you know, not being physically active, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it makes sense, yeah.
So I think vice versa, whatever, being single, like, well, if you let the world distort your reality, you can make rash decisions that you shouldn't be making, which I have, and I'm sure you have, and they've been pathetic ones, unfortunately, right? But you learn, and I think being alone as a follower in Christ developed the fruit of the Spirit of self-control, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to bring that flaming passion, whatever they misinterpret in 1 Corinthians 7, because that's not what it's saying. That's referring to the couple. But a single person will have those desires of lust, but you have the fruit of the Spirit. Do you not have the fruit of the Spirit? Which is self-control, or do you have like the work of the flesh, which is lewdness and uncleanness? Like, which one is it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why, like, being single is, those are the important things that you should enjoy. Like, the fact that God is building you with that self-control.
Yeah.
So when the time comes, when that beautiful woman or man comes, or a handsome man comes your way, you'll be ready.
Exactly.
You'll be ready.
Yeah, and it should be peaceful
100%.
in every way.
Yeah.
Number one, spiritually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physically, emotionally, and then financially. There should be a sense of peace. A sense of like, okay, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think social media or your surroundings, right? And this fear or feeling alone or whatever. I like what, I forgot which pastor said this. He said it so weird. Not that it's not wrong. I think it was Jesse Lee Peterson, if I'm not mistaken. He's a pastor though.
Yeah, he's a pastor.
He said if you feel alone and you think that looking for a wife is the solution, that's demonic. Dude, I was dying after that, dude.
Yeah, he's so blunt, yo. He just
like I don't. Yes, that's yes and no, right? But like, that's not how you say it.
Yeah.
But essentially, he's right though, because if you think that that's the solution, that's incorrect, right? That right? You're trying to fill this emptiness that only God can.
Yeah, only the Father can.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's demonic.
Dude, I think he dragged it when he said that. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't. Oh my God! I didn't know he was going to say that.
And then I heard a preacher, the Russian preacher, how he talks about how like singleness is actually a preparation, especially with God. Mm-hmm. It's a preparation. You get all your things together spiritually, and then everything else, like physically, emotionally, and then financially.
Yeah.
It's like a preparation, right?
100%.
He doesn't want you, look for a woman and then struggle so much. Yeah.
No, God is order,
and but then now, like, you have to, it's almost like, how do I say this? It's in my head because you brought this up so randomly. So I'm just like thinking about so many things. It's like playing catching up. I remember we were talking about how if you come to God so many times with that same burden.
Oh, same backpack. Yeah. Same backpack.
Like,
mm-hmm.
You won't be able to like think about the righteousness in His kingdom.
Yeah, because
you're constantly coming with this burden.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much like catching up. You're never catching up. It's like you're playing catch up.
Yeah.
Right. And the same is true if you search to like quote unquote like fill up that emptiness ill prepared, and I mean ill prepared, you're going to be playing catch up with all the spiritual things because now you can't think straight. You don't know how to come up with this. You're trying to get a loan for like to pay for the wedding or the venue, whatever. It's like you're going to be playing catching up with God and all the things that you're supposed to put first so that you don't have to play catch up.
Yeah, that's harsh, but that's the truth.
And then I think in that regard, you're stealing yourself from an opportunity
with God,
vice versa to whoever, like woman, man, or whatever. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's our society, right, in this country. I mean,
totally, man.
Around the world, I would say.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like technology is advancing, and this country is the number one influencer. We're influencing other countries, other people around the world. You know what I mean? So I think the fact that you brought that is it's crazy.
Look, I will say this: if you're a woman or a man that is feeling that, like that loneliness, check yourself. What are you doing with your time? Are you really pursuing in the presence of God? And be honest with yourself, because are you really like on that firm foundation?